Hello, geometry. I'm here to go over your 4.2 and 4.3 Quizlet. This is the way we're going to be able to go over these. We're running a little short on time in class, so we have videos for you. That way you can go back and forth and get some feedback. And please pause 1 second. I forgot to turn on the smart board, so give me a second here. Hopefully this is still going to work. I think it is. All right, cool. So now I think I can write on this. So here is the first one. Number 1, classify each triangle by its angle measure. That was the biggest thing I saw with a lot of my quizzes. We have different ways to classify triangles, side measures and angle measures. And the way we classify by angle measures is we have to look at the angles. So the first thing I want to look at is triangle ADC. It's that triangle there. I'm going to erase what I just traced over because I need to also write down that, hey, if this guy's 90 degrees, then this guy's 90 degrees. And that 90-degree angle is inside triangle ADC. So this is a right triangle. All right, so my next triangle is going to be ADE. All right, it's that triangle right there. And, well, okay, let's think about this. If this guy is 60 degrees, this guy has to be 120 degrees. That's an obtuse angle. We only need one obtuse angle to be able to call the triangle an obtuse triangle. Awesome. So then our last triangle that we are looking at is triangle ABD. And it looks like I have a 60-degree angle, another 60-degree angle. All triangles add up to be 180 degrees. So this must also be another 60-degree angle. So this is going to be an equiangular triangle. All right, equiangular. It's not equilateral. We're talking about angle measure here. So although equiangular and equilateral are pretty much the same type of triangle, we want to classify by angle measure, so we say equiangular. All right, moving on to number 2. We want to classify by side length. So now we're looking at the side lengths. We want to look at these tick marks. Those are important for us. So let's take a look at triangle PQR. I see that I have 2 sides that are congruent to each other. That's what those side lengths are telling me. So this is going to be an isosceles triangle. And then I have triangle PRS, which is this guy. And from the looks of it, it looks like I have 3, let's use a different color, there we go, 3 congruent sides. And this is by side length, so this would be equilateral. Awesome, equilateral. Equilateral triangle. And then we have our final triangle, which is PQS, which is the big one. And it looks like I have no sides that are congruent to each other. QS doesn't have one singular tick mark. PS has 1 tick mark, and then PQ doesn't have anything. That's 8.7. It doesn't look like anything is congruent to anything else, so we're going to call this scalene. All right, moving right along, we're going to go to number 3 here. All right, it tells us a lot of things. In the figure, angle P is congruent to angle U. That's what these tick marks mean, those arc marks. Angle Q is congruent to angle V. That's what these arc marks tell me. And then what is the measure of angle R? We want to learn that. Well, because of this thing called the third angle theorem, we know that angle R is congruent to angle W. So actually, I'm able to take 10x minus 18 and set it equal to 8x. So now I can go and find my traditional x back in algebra 1. I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides. I've got negative 18 equals negative 2x. I'm going to divide by negative 2, and that means that x is going to be equal to negative 9. But that's not the measure of angle R. We want to take x equals negative 9 and plug it in. So I'm going to get, let me rewrite this. I'm going to say 10 times negative 9 minus 18. All right, let me make sure I'm doing all this right. Yep, cool, awesome. So this is really going to be negative 90. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Hold up. Oh, I made a boo-boo here. look at this. So I have a positive 18, and a negative 18 and a negative 2. That's going to actually make this a positive 9. That's where I made my boo-boo. I made an algebra mistake. So let me substitute this back into the problem. And now this is going to make a whole lot more sense. Because if I had a negative 90 here, I was going to end up with a negative 108 degrees. And that would have been no good for us. And we would have really had a negative degree measure. And we don't want that. We want to have a positive degree measure. So what this would have turned into is 72. So we would have written 72 degrees. And that's one way to check. If you end up getting 0 degrees or negative degrees, that's probably a bad thing. All right, so I make these mistakes too. Sometimes I forget that I have 2 negatives and that when I divide it turns into a positive, but it's an easy fix. So make sure that you're doing that. All right, number 4. All right, so we want to find the measure of angle W, which is this guy right here. Well, what I notice is that I have angle W I have a measure for, I have angle T, and then I have this guy. I have this an obtuse angle, at least it looks like, but it's an exterior angle as well. So I'm going to take these 2 remote interior angles, all right, angle T and angle W, which in other words, it's 2x and 3x minus 24. I'm going to add them up, and it's going to equal 4x plus 11. All right, I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to start moving stuff over to solve for x. X minus 24 equals 11. Add 24. X equals 35. All right, cool. But that's still not what I want to end up with. I want to find the measure of angle W. So I'm going to take my 3x minus 24 and plug it in with x equals 35. So I've got, let's see, 3 times 35 minus 24, which is really going to turn into 81. So I'm going to get 81 degrees as my final answer. All right, perfect. 81 degrees. I'm going to flip the Quizlet over. I've got 2 more problems here. They're going to go pretty quickly. So I have, let's see, a sailor on ship A measures the angle between itself and ship B and the pier, and finds that it is 39 degrees. That's this guy right here, 39 degrees. A sailor on ship B measures the angle between ship A and the pier and finds that it is 57 degrees. That's this guy right here, 57 degrees. What is the measure of the angle at the pier between ship A and ship B? Meaning, what's this guy? What is the measurement of that guy? Well, if you see this correctly, we have a nice triangle going on here, which means that if I add up all 3 angles of the triangle, meaning this is x, because we don't know it, we're going to call this, it should add up to be 180 degrees. So 39 plus 57 plus x equals 180. All right, we simplify some things. This is going to become 96 plus x equals 180. I'm going to subtract 96, and I'm going to end up x equals 84. So the angle measure that I'm looking for is 84 degrees. And that's the answer to that question. That was a quick one. Last one here. I want to find the measure of angle L. There's probably a weird cursor thing when I was copying this over to Smartboard, but this is very similar to number 4. All right, I have 2 interior angles. This one is 5x minus 20. This guy is 2x plus 5. And this guy has a 90-degree angle in it. It has that little box that tells us, hey, this is 90 degrees. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 2 interior angles and I'm going to add it to my exterior angle. This is the remote interior angle theorem. So I'm going to take 5x minus 20. I'm going to add 2x plus 5. And it is going to equal that 90-degree angle. Combine like terms, I'm going to get 7x minus 15. That's going to equal 90. Then I'm going to, let's see, change color, add 15 to both sides. I've got 7x equals 105. I am then going to divide by 7, x equals 15. But once again, that's not the answer we want. We want to find the measure of angle W, which I believe if I scroll back up, that is this guy. Yeah, that's this guy right here, angle W. So I'm going to take my x equals 15 and plug it in right here. So I've got 5 times 15 minus 20. I'm going to end up with, let's see, 75 minus 20, and that will equal 55. So my final answer is 55 degrees. There we go. There you have it. That is our Quizlet. Make sure you take a look at this video and the other videos. If there's one or two that you didn't know how to do, all right, feel free to email your teacher, ask some questions about this. Feel free to come see us at Lion Time. We would love to be able to help you out. All right, I know next time, probably after you watch this video, you are going to be having a chapter 4 quest, and that section, those sections should be 4.2 to 4.7 and 4.9. We are not including 4.1 and 4.8. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to replay this video and look at other videos or seek sources. You can email me, you can email Mrs. Pesic, you can email Mrs. Taylor. All right, have a good rest of your day. Peace.